Hello and welcome. I'm Clara Hale. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're feeling calm and well tonight. Take a moment now to arrive. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. This time is already yours. If your eyes are open, you can let them gently close. If they're already closed, you can let them soften even more. Notice how the night feels around you, the way the air has settled, the quiet that arrives when the world finally slows. You are safe here, held by the stillness of this hour, supported by the simple fact that nothing is being asked of you. You might feel the weight of the day still lingering in your shoulders, in your breath, in the small spaces behind your eyes. That's okay. There's no rush to let it go. Just begin by noticing your breathing, not changing it, just noticing. A slow inhale, a gentle exhale, and again, in and out. With each breath, the night seems to lean a little closer, as if it's listening too. Outside, the streets have grown quiet. Lights are dimmed. Windows glow softly, like distant stars brought closer to the ground. Inside, there is warmth, a familiar stillness, a calm that doesn't need explanation. This is the hour where thoughts soften, where the edges of the day blur, where the world feels less demanding and more forgiving. You don't need to stay alert. You don't need to follow anything closely. You can simply drift along with the sound of this voice, letting it move at the same gentle pace as your breath. Tonight is not about effort. It's about easing, about resting in the quiet spaces between moments. And as the night deepens, as the air grows cooler and calmer, we'll slowly step into a story meant only for this hour. A story that moves softly, that listens as much as it speaks. A story that exists in the spaces where the world is quiet enough to hear something tender. For now, just rest here. Let the night hold you. Let the stillness settle. Let yourself drift, exactly as you are. When you're ready, we'll begin. The midnight hour has a way of arriving quietly. Not all at once, but gently, like a soft hand resting on the shoulder of the day, asking it to finally let go. In this hour, the room feels different. The light is lower now, not bright enough to wake the corners, just enough to soften them. There's a lamp nearby, or maybe a candle, casting a steady, patient glow, the kind of light that doesn't demand attention, the kind that simply stays. The air is cooler too, clean, unrushed. Outside, the world has stepped back. Cars have thinned, voices have faded. Even the city, if there is one, seems to be breathing more slowly. This is a familiar time, a time you've come to know, even if you never planned to. Midnight doesn't ask why you're awake. It doesn't question. It simply opens its quiet arms and lets you exist. You might be sitting somewhere comfortable or lying down, wrapped in something warm, surrounded by the gentle shapes of a space that knows you. There's comfort in how little changes now. The clock moves differently here. Minutes stretch, seconds lose their edges, and somewhere within this stillness, there is something else. At first, it's barely noticeable, a sound, or maybe the memory of one. Not music exactly, not something you could hum or name, more like a suggestion, a soft pattern in the air, a whispered melody that seems to exist only when everything else has grown quiet enough. You might hear it near the window, or in the pause between breaths, or in the space just behind your thoughts. It doesn't interrupt, it accompanies. This melody doesn't belong to the room, and yet it feels at home here. It's something you've noticed before on nights like this, when the world feels thin, when distance doesn't seem quite as real. You don't search for it, you never have. It arrives on its own, as if it knows when you're ready to hear it. There's a sense, gentle and reassuring, that this sound isn't meant just for you, that somewhere else, under the same night, someone is listening too. Not watching, not waiting, just present. The thought doesn't bring urgency, only calm. A quiet understanding that this hour holds small connections, the kind that don't need names or explanations or daylight. You remain still, comforted by the light, by the air, by the unspoken rhythm of the night. And the whispered melody continues, soft and patient, as the quiet hour fully settles in. This is where the night begins to open. There's a moment, not always the same moment, but one that arrives eventually when you sense it. The feeling that the night is no longer empty. Nothing changes in the room. The light stays steady, the air remains calm, and yet something feels gently aligned, as if two quiet moments, separate, unseen, have found their way to each other. You don't turn your head, you don't listen harder, you simply know. Somewhere beyond this space, beyond these walls, someone else is awake in the same softened way, not restless, not searching, just present in the night. The whispered melody seems to respond to that awareness, not growing louder, not clearer, only warmer. It moves slowly, like a shared breath, like something meant to be felt rather than understood. You imagine them without trying, not a face, not a name, just the sense of another quiet life, paused in the same hour, surrounded by their own dim light, their own familiar stillness. Perhaps they're near a window too, or resting back against something comfortable, listening not for sound, but for the calm that comes with knowing they're not alone in the night. There's no reaching across distance, no signal being sent, and yet the connection feels real, as if the melody itself is the space where you meet. It carries no message, asks no questions. It simply exists between moments, between breaths, between two people who may never know each other and somehow don't need to. You feel no pressure to respond. Your presence is enough. The night seems to approve of this arrangement, the way it holds both of you gently without insisting on more. Outside, a faint sound passes. Wind, maybe, a distant movement that fades as quickly as it appears. Inside, everything remains steady. The melody lingers, soft and unhurried, as if it has all the time it needs. You notice how calm your body feels now, how natural it is to be awake in this moment, how easy it is to rest without sleeping yet. There's comfort in knowing that this connection doesn't depend on effort, that it returns on nights like this, not because it must, but because it can. The whispered melody drifts on, threading the quiet together, and you remain exactly where you are, held by light, by stillness, by the gentle awareness that somewhere in the night, someone else is listening too. As the minutes move slowly forward, the night settles into a rhythm. Not a loud one, not one that asks to be followed, just a soft pattern that repeats without effort. This is the part of the night you know well, the way you adjust your position without thinking, the way the light stays exactly where it is, the way the room feels like it's holding its breath along with you. Somewhere else, under the same midnight sky, another space is doing the same. Different walls, different shapes, the same quiet. You imagine them moving gently through their own familiar routine. Nothing important, nothing urgent. A sip of water, a slow breath, a pause at the window. Small actions that feel larger at night, not because they matter more, but because there's room to notice them. The whispered melody weaves itself through these moments, always present, never demanding. It doesn't mark time, it softens it. Each return of the melody feels like a nod of recognition, a quiet agreement between two distant, peaceful lives. You don't wonder how it works. You've learned that midnight doesn't explain itself. It simply offers. The room remains warm. The air moves just enough to be felt. The outside world stays politely distant. There's something comforting about how predictable this hour is, how safe. Night after night, it asks for nothing more than stillness. You feel a gentle ease in knowing that this connection, this shared unspoken moment, doesn't require closeness in the usual ways. No words, no gestures, just parallel quiet. The melody drifts again, familiar now, almost like it's always been there, waiting for the day to step aside. Your breathing slows naturally, your thoughts lose their edges. And somewhere else, someone else is likely feeling the same subtle release, not because they know you, but because the night has made space for both of you at once. The routines continue softly, the moments repeat, the connection remains, steady, unremarkable, and quietly comforting. The night stretches on. The melody remains, a subtle thread winding through the quiet. It's easy now to imagine them, the other presence you felt all along, moving in their space with the same gentle care. No words are spoken, no introductions are needed, just the awareness that someone else shares the same hour, the same softened time. And in that awareness, there is warmth, a slow, steady kind of warmth that isn't loud or urgent. It simply exists. Perhaps you think of the small details, the way their hands might rest on a table, the way their eyes might pause at a soft lamp, the subtle shift in posture as they settle into stillness. Or maybe you don't think at all, you just feel it, the quiet understanding that presence can be gentle and enough. The whispered melody grows more familiar now, not louder, not urgent, only more intimate, as if it recognizes the calm that has grown between you. It winds softly through the room, through the distance, through the spaces where the night and your awareness meet. This is the part of the hour where closeness is felt without needing to move or speak, where hearts can touch through silence alone. The night encourages you to notice simple pleasures, the soft air brushing your skin, the glow of light pooling in corners, the way shadows shift quietly in response. And with each gentle moment, the melody seems to respond, rising just enough to remind you that connection can exist without presence, that intimacy can be quiet, that love in its softest form is patient and still. You may find yourself smiling softly, not because anything has changed, but because the night has reminded you that shared understanding doesn't always need explanation. The minutes pass slowly. Each breath matches the rhythm of the melody. Each pause in thought deepens the feeling of gentle closeness. The world outside could vanish entirely, and it would make no difference. All that exists is this: a quiet presence, a melody, and the calm knowledge that you are not alone in this midnight hour. Now the melody seems to surround you completely. It's no longer just a thread in the background, but a gentle wave that moves through the room and even beyond it, touching spaces you can't see. It is neither loud nor commanding. It does not insist. It simply fills the air, softly, patiently, like it has always belonged here. Somewhere else, the other presence feels it too. Perhaps they notice it more clearly than before. Perhaps they pause mid-breath, letting the music settle into them like the night itself is humming. There is a quiet understanding in this moment, not spoken, not defined, only felt. It feels as though the melody is a bridge connecting two lives that never needed to touch to recognize each other. The warmth in your chest is soft. It spreads slowly, like sunlight brushing over a quiet meadow, but warmer, calmer, infinitely more still. You might imagine them smiling, or closing their eyes, or simply existing in their space, attuned to the same gentle rhythm. You feel a pulse in the quiet, an echo of reassurance that this shared hour, this whispered melody, is a kind of embrace. No words can capture it, no actions are required. It simply exists. Two presences, the night, and a song that belongs to both. Outside, the world is utterly still. The distant sounds of wind or rain or a far-off street lamp humming fade into harmony with the melody. Inside, your room, your space, feels as though it's been waiting for this exact moment, to breathe slowly, to exist softly, to hold this delicate connection with nothing but calm and awareness. Time stretches, but gently. Breathing slows. Thoughts soften. The night itself seems to sigh, content with how softly it has brought two hearts into the same quiet rhythm. And the melody lingers, wrapping the hour in warmth, until it begins to drift, just a little, just enough to ease you toward deeper rest. The melody drifts now, even softer than before. It doesn't announce itself, it only whispers, like a gentle breath or a wave that reaches the shore and retreats, leaving a quiet space behind. Your body is lighter, Your thoughts are slower. The edges of the day have blurred completely. Everything that mattered before seems distant now, and that is exactly how it should be. You notice the small details around you again, but differently this time. The way the lamplight pools softly on the walls, the subtle movement of air through the room, the distant hum of the night beyond windows. It's familiar, and it feels safe, like a lullaby that has always been meant for you. Somewhere else, the other presence rests in the same way, breathing in rhythm with the quiet, listening without needing to respond. Existence itself feels connected. The melody returns again and again, not insistently, not sharply, but softly, like a heartbeat hidden in the air. It rises just enough to remind you you are not alone, not truly. The night repeats itself. Minutes fold into each other. The same gentle sounds echo, and your mind accepts the repetition as a kind of comfort. You may feel your limbs relax further, a deep sense of being held, without touch, without words, simply carried by sound, by stillness, by presence. Every inhalation and exhalation matches the rhythm of the night. The melody becomes part of your breath, part of your heartbeat, part of the quiet spaces between your thoughts. The longer you stay here, the more the world outside disappears, the more it's just you and the melody and the knowledge that someone else is sharing the same calm. Time is gentle now. Repetition is gentle. Breathing, thoughts, light and sound, they all move at the same slow, even pace. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just this soft, shared stillness. And the melody begins to fade, softly, slowly, leaving behind the quiet warmth that will carry you toward sleep. The melody drifts farther now, becoming almost part of the silence. It's still there, but it no longer calls attention to itself. It has served its purpose, to connect, to comfort, to ease the night. You remain still. You breathe slowly. The air is soft around you, cool and gentle, holding you. Perhaps you notice the light one last time, how it glows quietly, how shadows rest without moving. Or perhaps your eyes are closed and the warmth of the room is enough. Outside, the night continues in its gentle rhythm. Wind brushes softly past, distant sounds hum lightly, and all of it is a lullaby without words. You are not required to think. You are not required to do. You are only required to rest, to exist in this stillness, to let the quiet carry you. The other presence fades from thought, but the comfort remains. The knowledge of shared calm, of a quiet life mirrored elsewhere, lingers softly in your chest. Every breath is slow, every heartbeat calm, every thought quieting, melting into nothingness. If you feel a tug of awareness, simply notice it and let it pass. No need to hold it, no need to follow it. The room, the night, The air and the fading melody all fold together now. They wrap around you like a soft blanket that has no edges. There is no hurry, no noise, no distinction between waking and sleeping. You are floating, safe, comforted, held in the gentle rhythm of the hour. And as you drift, as thoughts grow distant, as your body sinks deeper into stillness, there is nothing more to do than rest. The melody whispers one last time, then softens into silence, and the night continues around you, steady, unbroken, and peaceful. Sleep is here now, not coming, not arriving. It is already present. Breathe slowly, breathe gently, drift, and be carried softly into the quiet of midnight.